sounds cool. So, am I? Yeah, so I think I'm in there. I think everybody else is in there. We've got a couple of minutes officially. I'm going to scoot back so I can see you. And of course, you can chat. So if anyone cannot hear, then give me like a little chat or something so I can see it. But if you can hear, then I'm going to do my best to guide you with my voice. So sometimes, yeah, you want to look, you got to see what to do or how to move your body. But really, don't worry about the shapes as much as we're getting into how is it going to feel right now. So I'd like to invite everyone to come to a shape where you're lying down. So grab your mat if you don't already have. If you love props, of course, you can grab something. I am going rogue today, so you don't really need anything. But I'd like you to come to where you're lying down. Maybe have a bend in your knees. And if you can scoot your feet a little bit wider, then you can bring your knees together. You can place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. And in this shape, you can start to let the eyes close. Your jaw will fully relax. Your facial muscles start to soften. You feel almost your scalp, loosening from around your bones, your soul. So as friends come on and are joining, we're all just lying down. Maybe for the first time today, noticing where you feel the inhales and the exhales. So feel your chest rise and fall. You may start to feel it a little lower, your belly rise and fall. Continue breathing, letting your chin tuck just slightly so that the back of your neck can be really long. If you like to imagine in your mind's eye that in and out, getting deeper, fuller. We get to live really in the moment, at least for this little while together. So if you're ready, start to bring both hands down around your legs and lift your legs into the air. Gently, your hands will start to rest on the shins. Let your knees be wide for a moment. You're just kind of guiding with your hands, holding the outer edges of your knees or your shins. You could still let your eyes be closed, pausing each place that we move. And take an exhale, bring your knees towards each other and then away from each other. So knees are making soft circles towards and away from each other. You can let these shapes get as exaggerated as you love. Let the breath be the guide of what is happening right here and now. The next time the knees come back together, pause. Make just 3 circles or so in the other directions. The hips just slowly awakening. Knees come together. Let's take a hug of our body. So you could even lift the head and lift the neck. Squeeze the knees in if it feels okay. And exhale, lower your head down. Lift your legs into the air. You can just use your hands to guide the backs of the thighs. And then start to point and flex the toes. Move the ankles around. The hands could even come around, massaging the knees. This is all just self-exploration. How's it feeling? And hug the knees in one more time, big squeeze. So unless you have stuff going on in the neck, we'll start to roll forward and back. You'll rock the knees over the head, rolling forward and rolling back. You can do this 3 or 5 times. You can do this a lot of times if you love it. But eventually, we'll rock ourselves up to standing. So you'll get a little momentum. You'll plant your feet. Maybe you don't even use your hands. And fold at the top of your mat. So if you have to do any shimmying, go for it. You'll just come to the top. Let the feet be pretty wide. Bend the knees a lot here and just sway from side to side. So keep that fluid motion of the neck and head. Really release. If you like to bring the hands behind the back of the head, interlacing, you can always go for that ragdoll shape. Have 3 more deep breaths, folded, and just letting the spine release. Belly is probably touching the thighs. Take an inhale. Let's lift up halfway. Your hands can always support the shins and just shimmy your feet under your hips. About hip distance apart with the feet is 2 fists. Take an exhale, let's fold, and you can let the knees bend as much as you need. Relax your head. Inhale, lift halfway. You'll start to lengthen in the spine. Take an exhale as you fold, softening the shoulders. Inhale as you lift half. Exhale, nice big fold, relax your neck. Big belly breath. Last time we lift halfway. You can always press the shins away. Exhale, full fold. Really deep release. Inhale this time. We'll circle the arms out and up. We'll come all the way up to standing. You'll press your palms together. Exhale as your hands come right through the central channel. Pause at the heart. And softly let your hands come down by your sides. The eyes can stay closed if you choose. The shoulders will go up, back, and down a few times. Just feel the neck. Maybe you feel the feet grounding more into the mat. Next breath in, reach the arms out and up. Gently flicker the eyes open towards your own thumbs. Exhale, big fold. Of course, you can always bend the knees. We're going all the way down. Inhale to lift halfway. You feel the belly lifting. Exhale, let your hands come down to the mat. You'll step 1 foot back, step the other to meet it. You'll find this high plank pose. The knees can come down. This is no problem, but feel the belly lifting either way. Take 1 more big full in breath. Exhale, let the hips go high. This is your first downward dog, so we'll move around a little bit. As you inhale, you'll lift up onto your tippy toes. You'll let your right knee bend and let your left heel just kind of soften. Take an inhale to lift up and exhale, its left knee bend. See if you can keep the gaze pretty heavy. Let the frontal brain relax. We're just pedaling the feet from side to side. The yoga, the union, really happening in the quality of the breath. 1 more time, we'll lift up onto tippy toes. Take an exhale, release your heels. So if your hamstrings are feeling tight, just bend the knees a little bit. This is no problem, but relax the head. Take an inhale here in downward facing dog. Take an exhale to soften the jaw. Start to gaze forward towards your own thumbs. Bend the knees. You'll step, or if you love to hop, you can hop, but you'll step 1 foot and then the other to the front of the mat. Lift halfway here. Hand support if you love. Exhale, big fold all the way down. Inhale, we're coming up to standing as the arms circle out and up. Exhale, hands down through the heart center. Pause here. Down by the sides. We'll add on a little back bending here. So take an inhale as you reach the arms out and up. As you exhale, you'll bend the knees a little bit. The hands will come down to the low back. Fingertips rising. We'll also stretch our wrists out. Take an inhale, lift your chest, straighten the legs. You don't have to lean way back. Just look up as you start to open right through the collarbones. Exhale as we fold. The hands will just go down the backs of the legs. Little self-massage. You can have sound effects if you love. You can say that, ah. Inhale to lift halfway. Take an exhale. Two hands will come down to the mat. Let's step left foot back. We'll step our right foot to meet it. You're pausing in your plank. You're feeling the belly lift and the thighs lift. Exhale, hips go high into downward facing dog. Soften somewhere. Jaw or forehead. Place between the brows. We'll bring the big toes together just for stability when we're lifting one leg. Take an inhale. We'll go left leg rising straight up and back behind you. Move pretty slow. And exhale. Step your left foot forward. Bring it all the way through the hands. You're in this runner's lunge. And start to move around a little in this front left leg. So you'll start to bend the knee more. You'll straighten the knee a little more. So just feel your way through this right foot. You'll stay kind of high on the ball of that foot there. And when you find some space in this front leg, come back to your runner's lunge. You'll pause for a moment. Take an exhale. Let the back knee lower down. Yeah, let's have a little relief. You can uncurl the toes if you want. Take an inhale. Reach your arms up. You'll gaze forward, maybe upward. Exhale, slowly bring both hands down to the mat, right back where we started. Curl your back, right toes under, lift your knee. Plant your hands on the ground. Your left foot will go up and back. It's this three-legged dog, but move with control. Exhale, bring your left foot down to the mat. Inhale, lift your right leg straight up and back, really slow. Exhale, you're looking forward, stepping all the way through, finding that lunge. Move around in the front knee. Your forehead will relax. It doesn't have to touch the knee, but you want to soften in the jaw, in the neck. Feel the spaces, those tiny little places. Start to rebend in your front knee. Soften your back knee to the ground. You can uncurl the toes if you have the space. Take an inhale, sweep both arms up. The gaze will follow the hands. This usually will help you with the balance. Exhale, right down we go. Bring the hands to the mat. You'll lift up onto the back toes or lift the knee, curling the toes. Plant your hands down and lift your right leg just straight up and back. Exhale as you bring your right foot down. You're in a downward facing dog. Your feet can be hip distance here. This will give the bones some support. Feet are about 2 of your fists distance. Take an inhale to gaze forward towards your hands. Bend your knees and you'll step, maybe right foot first, but you'll step one foot, step the other. Lift halfway when your feet come to the top of the mat. Take an exhale as you fold all the way down. Inhale, come out and up with the arms as we rise up to standing. Exhale, hands right through the midline. Pause at the vision center. Pause at the heart center. We can feel our breath now, yeah? Hands come down by the sides. You can always take that shoulder rolling back and down. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up, big circle up. Exhale, you're bending your knees, bringing your hands down to the low back. As you inhale, you're lifting. This is that back bend. It doesn't have to be this crazy deep back bend. Be nice on Friday afternoon. And exhale, fold. Let the hands come all the way down the legs. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to bring 2 hands down to the mat. You'll step 1 foot back and then the other. This is high plank. You know you can always add things if you love. If you're with me, we're going to go pretty lunar, pretty slow tonight. So bring your knees down to the mat. You can uncurl the toes and walk the hands forward. See if you can relax your forehead on the mat. If you're up on tippy fingers, this will give you a little bit more space. You'd like the hips stacking right above the knees. We love to call this puppy pose. This is heart melting. Anahata Asana. Notice your breath when it gets quiet here. All right, inhale to look forward. Start to slide your hands back. You'll tuck the toes under, lift the hips on the out breath. It's downward facing dog. We start to feel a little more fluid now. Bring the big toes together just for support, for stability. It's your left leg, really slow with control. Bring it up and back. As you exhale, you'll step it forward, right between the hands. Stay high on this back foot this time. Take an or back knee. Take an inhale and reach your arms up. This is your high lunge. You could do the same shape from the beginning, bringing the knee down if you love. The gaze is forward and upward if your neck is okay with that. As we exhale, we'll start to sweep our arms out like a T. Your back right foot will go flat. You might shimmy the left foot to the middle of the mat. You're in this open warrior 2. Take an inhale, bring your hands into your heart and come out of the work a little bit of your front left leg. You can probably feel your heartbeat now. Exhale, you'll sit deeper in the front knee as you open the arms. So take an inhale, gaze follows the hands. Get gaze towards your heart. Breathe out to open wide and you'll gaze right over that front middle finger. Bring hands in, you'll feel the little bit of release. And exhale right over the middle finger. Pause in this warrior 2. Beautiful. Next exhale, sweep your both hands down onto the mat. You start to turn onto the right toes. You can shimmy the feet always if you need. Right knee will lower down. As you uncurl the toes, you'll reach your arms up. This is that low lunge, a little bit of a vacation here. Exhale, 2 hands start to lower down to the mat. Curl your toes under, plant your hands down. Your forward foot, your left foot will go up and back, really controlled in your 3-legged dog. Exhale, bring it down beside the right. The big toes are touching or close to touching here. Inhale, right foot goes up and back, really slow. Exhale, you're coiling in as you step your foot all the way between the hands. You're high on the back knee now if you're adding on a layer. Take an inhale to sweep the arms up, gaze to the hands. As you exhale this cycle, you'll start to open into your warrior 2. Your back heel spins flat. Right foot shimmies to the middle of the mat. So it doesn't really matter what you're looking at. You know where you're going. Your body's done this. As you inhale, bring your hands into the heart. You're coming out of the work of your front leg. And as you exhale, you're opening a little deeper. Gaze right over the middle finger. Twice more, you breathe in as you lift. You breathe out as you expand. Take an inhale, hands coming towards your heart. Gaze to the hands. Exhale, big, deep, open warrior 2. Next breath out, hands go down to the mat. You turn onto the back left toes. Lower your back left knee down. Always you can shimmy that front leg. Uncurl the toes if it feels good. Sweep the arms up. That low lunge, low Anjaneyasana. Take an exhale. Your 2 hands come down to the mat. As you curl your toes and lift your knee on the left, you'll plant the hands down. You want some support for the wrist. Sweep your foot up and back. It's your 3-legged dog. Take an exhale. Both feet come down onto the mat. Let your feet be hip distance here. This is that bone stacking for your normal downward dog. Of course, still bend in the knees works here. This is fine here. gazing towards your own thighs. Exhale, lower your knees down. Take a breath in, uncurl the toes. Walk the hands a little more forward, or you can slide them forward. This is that anahata, that heart melting or puppy pose. If you ever feel uncomfortable here, there's some pulsing that can happen. So as you inhale, you'll lift up a little bit and tuck your chin, you're coiling. And as you exhale, you'll get longer, bringing your forehead down. So try that if you're feeling like you want some movement. It's just this exaggerated heartbeat. And the release into the forehead on your mat. Inhale, last time we're lifting up onto the tippy fingers if you're coiling, if you're doing that motion. Exhale, it's the anahata, the heart melting pose. Inhale, let's lift our chest and gaze forward towards the thumbs. Take an exhale, you'll bring your forearms down. You'll press through one foot and then the other, I promise, just for a moment, and then lower your hips down. Uncurl the toes as you lower. You'll gaze right over the edge of your mat. You're almost pulling your chest through. This is opening your collarbones. Take a breath out and just gaze over the left shoulder. You're just turning your head. Your chin will roll down and gaze over the right shoulder. You can even smile. Chin rolls down and we're going over to the left. Let the neck feel some release. Down and over to the right. We'll go once more each side. You can add, you can change, do whatever you love with the shapes. Exhale, your chin comes down. Inhale, your chest lifts, chin lift. Next breath out, release your arms down and make a little pillow with your hands. Just rest your forehead right down onto your hands. Take an inhale as you start to lift your head. You'll bring your hands kind of behind or beside the low ribs here. You'll lift up onto hands and knees. Curl your toes under and find your downward dog. It's a breath out for downward dog. So if you need some shimmying around your space, take up all the space. I always do. Big toes will come together here. Take an inhale. It's your left leg, really slow. Left leg rises up and back. Take an exhale. Your footsteps forward between the hands. On an in-breath, we rise up. This is that lunge of your choice. Back knee lifted for a little bit of heat. Take an exhale, open into your warrior two. That front foot shimmies right to the middle of your mat. Take an in-breath. We'll just do this once. Come out of the work a little bit, hands to heart. Just maybe gaze down. Open the arms here as you gaze right over that front middle finger. Start to shift into a straighter front leg. Start to reach your front arm really forward. And as you exhale, your left arm will come down as your right arm rises. This bottom hand does not have to be all the way on the floor. You really want to be open in your triangle pose. If you can gaze up, you might gaze up. If this doesn't feel great to the neck, gaze down to your big toe, your left big toe. Feeling open here, you'll feel the side body as we almost lean back. That's what's awakening. Exhale, we'll all look down to the big toe. Rebend your left knee. Exhale, sweep both arms up and back. You're finding this reverse of your warrior. Yeah, dancing in the warrior. Exhale, lower both hands down to the mat. Your back knee slowly lowers. You'll turn onto those toes, uncurl here. Lift your arms. You're in that low Anjaneyas. Exhale, two hands will come down to the mat. Start to shift into a straight left leg. If you have yoga with me, you know I love the baby pose, the baby Hanuman. So this is our half split. The knee and the hip are in line on the right side. Inhale to lift your chest. Take an exhale, fold a little deeper. It doesn't have to look deeper, just let it feel deep. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, rebend your front knee. You feel that, ha ha. Hands under the shoulders. You'll tuck the back toes, lift your knee. Your left leg is going up and back. It's your three-legged dog, so just really reach your foot. Exhale, left foot down beside the right. Take an inhalation. Your big toes are together, close to touching. Right leg rises up and back. Exhale, knee comes forward as you step your foot all the way through the hands. Take an inhale to rise up. The arms will reach up. This is Anjaneya. This is that crescent lunge. Exhale, open into your warrior two. Shimmy your front right foot as much as you need to the middle. Just one time, sweep the hands in towards heart. Gaze towards your own hands. Exhale, open deeper into your warrior two. It's right over that front middle finger. Start to straighten in your front right leg. Start to reach your right arm forward. Your right hand comes down as your left arm rises. You're opening the side body, so it doesn't matter how low the bottom hand is. Take 2 breaths here, gazing to whichever hand feels the most support. Where do you feel the stability? Exhale, gaze down to your big toe. Bend the front knee. You'll sweep up and back with this right arm. You're reversing your warrior. Big bend in the front knee. Exhale, both hands come down to the mat. You lower your back knee down. We feel that, ha ha. Uncurl the toes. Let's lift the arms up for that low lunge. Exhale, 2 hands will come down. Start to straighten in that front right leg. Hands under the shoulders will give us a little more support. As you exhale, fold here. Just soften in the forehead, soften in the jaw. Inhale to lift halfway. We'll fold one more time. The here and now, that is the union, right? Where does my breath go? Take an inhale to lift half. Exhale, rebend your front knee. Hands come down to the mat. You'll curl your back toes under and lift the knee. Your right foot slides up and back. It was pretty slow with intention. Exhale, right foot comes down. You're in downward facing dog. Feel the grounding of that L shape of index fingers and thumb. Feel the softening in the neck as the head gets a little heavier. Gravity's doing its thing. Take an inhale as you gaze forward towards the hands. You can always hop if you love. If you're bending the knees, then you'll just step left foot, then right foot forward. We'll lift halfway when we arrive. I like feet under hips, but do whatever you love. Exhale, big fold. All the way down we go. Inhale, let's reach the arms up as we rise, expanding. Exhale, hands right to the vision center. Pause at the heart center. Hands down by the sides. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. You can flicker the eyes open if they're closed. Exhale, you'll bend the knees. Bring your hands down to the low back. As you inhale, lift your chest. This might be a little bit deeper of back bending, heart forward. I know it's vulnerable here. I'll stay with you, but see if you can breathe for another breath in. It's that shining sensation. Take an exhale, fold hands all the way down the backs of our legs. We get that ha. Inhale to lift halfway. Take an exhale to bring 2 hands down. You can step back with one foot, step back with the other. So we'll add a little bit of motion here. Bring your left knee down to the middle of the mat. You'll roll onto the outside edge of the right foot. Your left hand is under the shoulder here, and reach your back arm or your right arm back up and overhead. You can do this a couple of times with the arm. Notice how pressing through the feet, through the legs help. One more big circle back up and over. Right hand comes down. Now we know what we're doing. Press through plank pose. Now it's right knee down to the middle of the mat. Turn onto the left side of your left foot. You'll start to feel the lift of the hips and reach that left arm back, up, and overhead. You can keep your eyes open for this one so you don't feel wobbly. Take one more big circle of the arm. Exhale as your hand comes down. You lift your right knee. We're in high plank. Breathe out to find downward facing dog. If you love 5 breaths in down dog, you'll stay here. You can do whatever you love. If you want a little more rest, bring your knees down. Big toes will come together. Rock the hips back as you soften your forehead. Your hands can reach forward towards the front of your mat, or you can always make 2 fists to rest your forehead on. Whether downward facing dog or child's pose, these are resting shapes for our bodies. Let them be resting shapes for our minds. Focus on the breath, just one more full in and out. Inhale to gaze forward, child's pose. Exhale to meet our friends in downward facing dog. The hips are high. Bring the big toes together. This is just our stability part. Take an inhale for your left leg to rise up and back. Move pretty slow here. Exhale, knee comes forward as you step your foot all the way through the hands. Inhale to reach the arms up as you rise up. Take an exhale to open into the warrior 2 shape. Shimmy that front left foot if you need. One time, bring the hands into the heart as you come out of the work. Maybe gaze down to your heart. Exhale, you're expanding into warrior 2. Straighten your front leg. The hips will reach back as your arm reaches forward on the left side, and it's that almost tick-tocking of the arms. You can gaze up or down. Feel the expansiveness in the right side body. That's what we're going for, is the ribs opening. The intercostals are those tiny muscles. Gaze down to the left big toe. Bend your left knee a lot and sweep that left arm up and back. Right arm just down the back of the leg. Exhale, lower both hands down to the mat. Your back knee will lower down. As you uncurl the toes, you'll start to sweep the arms up. As you exhale, 2 hands will lower down. You're finding that Hanuman Asana, forehead relaxing. This is devotion to the lower half of our body, right? Take an inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, rebend your front knee. Feel the release. Let your hands come right under the shoulders. Lift your back knee as you curl the toes and rise your left foot up and back. We'll add on a little here if you want it. If not, you will come down to tabletop and you will circulate the leg from here. So if you're adding on some fun dance moves, you'll bend your left knee. You'll open the hip but keep some weight in the shoulder. As you exhale, the knee will come forward, through, out, and around. It is this big, huge circle with the hip. We'll do this one more time. And on this last cycle, if you want wild thing, this left foot goes back behind you. Eventually, this left hand will rise. So you have a straight right leg, a bent left knee if you're in wild thing. And this hand is just resting. Exhale to swing it back around. Let your left foot lift up and back. Left foot lowers to the right. Find downward dog. Knees could always come down if you need to shift yourself or shimmy yourself. And if you wonder, like, oh, what just happened there? We have another side. Bring the big toes together. Take an in breath. It's an inhale that really slowly rises the right foot. Exhale, it comes forward and steps through the hands. Take an inhale to sweep the arms up. Your gaze follows. Take an exhale to open to your warrior 2. Shimmy your front foot to the middle. One time, bring the hands into the heart. Come out of the work of the knee. Exhale, dive deeper into warrior 2. Gaze right over that middle finger. Start to straighten your front right leg. Shift your hips back as you reach your right arm forward. Right arm will come down, left arm will rise. You can gaze up or down, but notice, where do you feel the power? Where do you feel the stability? Exhale, gaze down to the big toe. Rebend your front knee. It's up and back with the arms. You're doing that, reversing your warrior. Exhale, two hands will lower down onto the mat. That knee lowers down. Uncurl your toes, the arms reach up. You're in low lunge. Yeah. Exhale, releasing your hands to the mat. You'll start to shift into that straighter front leg. You can shimmy your heel if you get to ever stuck like I do and start to fold on the exhale. Take an inhale to lift halfway. Let's do one more fold in our half Hanuman, Ardha Hanuman. Inhale, lift your chest. Take an exhale, rebend your front knee. You feel that ha. Hands come down. You're curling your back toes. You're lifting the knee. Your right foot will slide up and back, but bend your knee and open your hip. If you're not going for more, then you're in tabletop and you're doing these nice, really awesome hip circles. If you're in down dog, then shift forward. The knee goes out and around. Get pretty exaggerated for this last big circle, knee out and around. Now right foot will step somewhere behind the left. Your right hand will rise, so you have a straight left, your left hand will rise. Yes, left hand will rise, and you have a straight leg and one bended knee. So just relax if you're kind of flipped over in your wild thing, relax the head. And now we'll flip it back around. Right hand down, right leg up. Bring your foot down to the mat. Bring both knees down, child's pose. Yeah, let all that just kind of wash over the body. So you can roll the forehead from side to side on the mat if that feels good. Follow the quality of your breath. Take an inhale to lift the chest. Take an exhale to find down dog. There will be this shifting and then lifting of the hips. This is your downward facing dog, your way. 2 full breaths here. Start to turn your toes out, your heels in. This is from down dog. For most of us, this will make us bend our knees a little bit. The heels can be lifted. You're kind of in this froggy shape. You'll sit your hips back, and then you'll shift your hips forward. So now you're almost in a plank pose, but with a weird leg variation. So shift the hips back. You're in this froggy shape, and shift the hips forward. You can feel some heat building in the legs just as we're shifting. And now we'll start to move the gaze. So gaze right in between the thumbs. If you don't love hopping, you don't have to. But the next time we shift back, gaze forward, inhale, and let's hop the feet around the hands. If you're like, no, thank you, then just step the feet around the hands, no problem. Take an exhale, sit the seat pretty low. This is Malasana. This is your yogi squatting. You can stay at the front of your mat. I'm going to turn so I can face you. But the elbows, the forearms are right in the thighs here. This will help guide the hips a little more open. See if you can close your eyes even just for a moment. Exhale, bring your hands down. You'll open the eyes, lift your hips up. Take an inhale to bring your feet under the hips. You'll do a little shimmy there. And take an exhale, big fold all the way down you go. Soften the neck. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Big open circle with the arms. Exhale, hands pause at the vision center. Release a breath here. Hands at the heart center. Release a breath here. Hands down by our sides. Last big in breath to reach the arms up, big circle. Exhale, you'll bend the knees, hands come down to the low back. So this is your biggest back bending. You choose how deep you want to go. You can lean back and look way back if you love. But if that hurts the low back, then stay just gazing to the ceiling. You want to be where you can breathe. The communication center, right? The throat can be open. Exhale, big fold, all the way down we go. This is that last nice big fold. So maybe hands come around the ankles. Lift halfway when you get here. You can think of some length in the spine. And exhale, fold a little bit deeper and maybe give a little tug, just a soft tugging, and shake your head from side to side. Release the neck, the jaw. Inhale, let's lift halfway. Exhale, let's bring the hands down to the mat. Let's step our right foot back. You'll keep your left foot forward. You can scoot the arms so that your hands can be to the inside of your left foot here. We'll walk the left foot maybe even wider out to the side of the mat. Yeah, you want a pretty wide line. And then lower your right knee down. You'll uncurl your toes here. This will give a little release. Some of you can come down onto forearms or down onto props. If you're with me, I'm feeling a little tight in the hip flexor. So I'm staying on fingertips, but see if you can keep your left foot forward for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can come down onto your right hand, turn your toes out, and then roll onto the pinky toe side of that left foot. So you'll actually gaze away from your camera, away from your devices. You're pressing your leg just a little bit open deeper, but watch the knee. Be super lovey to your front knee. Take an exhale for hands to come down. Turn your foot forward. Curl your toes under. You'll lift your back knee. And now crawl around to the long side of your mat. You'll turn the left toes with you. You might have to shimmy if you wiggle all around. Take an exhale and fold here. Relax your head, your hands just right under the shoulders. Inhale, start to lift the chest halfway. Take an exhale, you'll crawl around to the back of your mat with your right foot forward. So it's your opposite leg. You would like the arms to be inside of your legs. So you'll let your foot shimmy to the corner of the mat. Lower your back knee down and uncurl the toes. If you're exploring deeper options with the arms, you have a couple of breaths to do so. But we're really just asking the hip flexor that, hello, I see you here. No matter what you're doing in your kind of quarantine space, all of these tiny places get tight. Bring your hand down. You'll bring your hand right under the shoulder. Start to turn onto the pinky toe side. So your foot will go off to the corner of the mat on the right side. And then you'll open just gently with your hand pressing the thigh. The gaze will be up. If you have some newfound love of jogging or running or some crazy thing because you've been stuck in your house, this will also help keep you nice and loose and mobile here. This is for all things we do with the hips, with the legs. Exhale, slowly start to come back around. Bring both hands down. Lift your back knee so you'll curl the toes and crawl around to the long side of the mat. You'll turn your toes, maybe pigeon toe just a little towards each other. And take an exhale, big fold all the way down we go. Inhale to lift halfway. Bend the knees just a little bit here. Take a breath in and we'll come all the way up. Big circling of the arms, standing up. And you'll find the heels in, toes out. As you exhale, bend the knees a lot and just bring the hands into the heart. You're in this big kind of wide goddess squatting shape with hands at your heart. Most of us, this is pretty deep just as it is, but if you'd like a little bit of twisting, it can actually release a little, feel a little bit better. So bring your hands down to the thighs, and on a breath out, we'll dip our right shoulder in. And you kind of bend that left elbow. Take an inhale, you'll lift the chest, and then you're twisting to the other side. You're dipping that left shoulder down. We'll check this out one more time on both sides. Let the right shoulder dip in. You're twisting. Inhale, we'll lift a little. This should feel good, not bad. So if it doesn't feel great, back out a little. Inhale, let's lift and come all the way up to standing. So press through the legs, reach the arms. You'll have to open your eyes so you don't feel wobbly. Exhale, bring your hands right through the midline. Turn probably your left toes. If you've got turned around, we'll just get back to the front of the mat. But turn your left toes forward, you'll bend the knee, and then step your right foot to meet the left. So wherever that you're still kind of back at the front of your mat. I think I've cut myself off a little bit. Here we go. And hands at your heart center. Take an exhale, hands come all the way down. Shoulders roll back and down. Big in breath as we sweep the arms up. Out breath as we fold all the way down we go. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Step one foot back, step the other back. You're in this high plank. If you love vinyasa, if you're holding plank with me, we'll be here for a couple breaths, so if you need to bring the knees down, no problem. But if you love vinyasa, if chaturanga is your thing, here's your chance. So knees down or not, but we'll bend the elbows. We'll come down just halfway, maybe a little hover. Take an inhale, press through straight arms, straight legs, so you can keep the thighs lifted. Take an exhale, find downward facing dog, rolling all the way over the toes. Big full breath as you gaze back towards your own thighs. Toes turn out, heels turn in. This is one more opportunity for that little froggy hopping. Take an exhale to bend the knees a lot. You gaze forward. In breath, it's that lift, and now hop the feet around the hands. Come down into your malasana at the top of your mat so you can step the feet around if you don't love the hops. Close the eyes for one more full breath in and out. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Lift your hips high. Inhale to lift halfway. Turn the toes forward. You want that feet hip distance. Exhale, nice big fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift just halfway here. Take an exhale to bring your hands down to the mat. Step your right foot, then your left foot back, high plank. Lower down onto your knees here. And come back to sitting on your shins. So hands can rest on the thighs. You're somewhere in the middle of your mat. Take a pause. Take a moment to feel your breath. Eyes can close. It can be challenging in our own homes to find that space where it's quiet. I like fingertips rising. We'll open the wrist a little bit. Notice how that feels. The chest is still forward. And then this left arm will do the same thing. We'll reach up, around, fingertips rising. And on your next breath out, see if you can press the hips just a little more forward. and gaze right to the ceiling. So the hips are forward as though you could press them against a wall. The gaze is really high, and only if you have so much space would you reach maybe one hand to one foot and then the other. If you're with me, I'm staying in this pretty lunar version. It's already a little intense here, but notice, can you breathe? And exhale, really slowly start to lift and unwind. Just uncurl the toes, lower the hips, and you'll massage your low back a little bit. So just lower into a child's pose with your hands, little tapping or pounding on the back, lightly, lightly. Bring your hands into your hip creases, thumbs maybe in the hip crease. Inhale, lift your chest here. You'll pull the shoulders back. Take an exhale, one more nice big fold. You can just leave the hands where they are, right in the hips. Inhale, let's lift our chests. And exhale, this time we'll just come off onto our seat. So come off of one hip, roll the feet around, and we like the balance of the yin and the yang, right? The sun and the moon. So when we do the really deep back bending, we now want to do the deep folding so that it feels good. So if you like some other thing than legs forward, then you could go there. But we're going to take a nice big deep fold where you press through the feet. So if you want to lift some abundance out of the way, that always makes me feel a little more stable. And let's reach the arms up and gaze past your feet. As you exhale, the breath out will start to fold you. Just go halfway. Take an inhale and lift up. It's like this exaggerated heartbeat. And exhale, fold just halfway, but reach beyond the feet. Try it one more time. Take a big wave of breath up. Exhale, fold. Now clasp whatever. Feet, ankles, calves. Drop your head and your neck if you need. It feels good to release here. Let the breath arrive in the back body. See if you can even feel your shirt as it lifts and falls with your breath. Let's try it one time. Take an inhale, lift up halfway. You can keep the bind of whatever you have, your legs. And now exhale, fold. Pull yourself a little closer towards your legs. And now see, where can you feel the breath? Inhale, start to lift your chest. Exhale, come up to seated. Hands can come behind you. Bend your knees and give some little shimmy, that windshield wiper from side to side with the hips. Yes, good work. This is a lot of efforting, yeah, for a Friday, so good job. We'll take one nice twist here on each side as we remain seated. So you can decide, we'll go right leg long first, and you'll bring your left leg across this right knee. So you can decide if you're really comfortable here, you can even swing that right foot around. But either way, you want both booty cheeks on the floor. So if it makes you really lifted, then go with the straight leg. And now just lift your chest. You can pull your left knee a little closer towards your body. Your left hand will come around. It's like an extension of your spine. It's just reaching to lift your chest. This will make you look away. So take an inhale, lift your arm up. And as you exhale, it'll be right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And twist where you're gazing to the corner of the wall, maybe behind you. If that doesn't feel great, then just hug the knee with this top right arm. One more exhale, big deep twist, feel the depth. Inhale, look forward. Take an exhale, you'll reach your arm up and come around to the right side. It's just this little mini push-up, this little counter twist of the spine. Take an exhale, bring your hands behind you. Just switch up with the legs. So if you went long leg, then do the same thing with your left leg long. If not, it can come behind you, but you want both of your sits bones on the ground. It will be your right hand now that will just be an extension of the spine. So when you press your hand down, lift your chest, reach your arm up, you're reaching. And now as you exhale, it will be your elbow to the outside of the thigh and you're gazing behind you. You'll take at least 3 breaths. You can always just hug the knee. One more big exhale. Feel that depth, that twist a little deeper when you breathe out. Beautiful. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, reach your arm up, and it's a twist to the other side, just that little counter push-up, little mini push-up. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, unwind, bring your hands behind you. Give one more little windshield wiper, or if you love the toe tapping, you can tap the toes together. This also will fluff our dendrites. This helps bring electrical pulses to our brains, this toe tapping. When you feel pretty complete here, you'll start to roll yourself down onto your back. For your finishing shapes, always you can do whatever you love. I notice that as soon as I come to lying down, the inner teacher starts waking up and I know what I want to do. So if you know what you want to do, you have some time to roll around or to find inversions, to play, to do some hip opening, whatever you love. But if you're with me, you'll reach your legs straight into the air. You'll reach your arms into the air and give a little jiggle. This just moving the blood around, moving energy around. After all of our effort. And exhale, hug everything in, one nice big squeeze. Inhale, your hands will come onto the mat. Lift your legs into the air and find this nice supported, legs up the wall, but we don't even need a wall. So let the knees bend so that you don't really feel like you're working. Tuck your chin just enough to let some length in the back of your neck support. And exhale, hug the knees in one more time. We'll open our right arm to the right. If your shoulders have been kind of tight lately, then maybe go cactus arm. Maybe open the shoulder a little deeper. It might want a little bit more. And then just drop your knees off over to the left. It's okay if the knee is lifted. The work, if we're working here, is in softening the shoulder on the right side. You can shimmy the hips so that they're a little bit more underneath your spine. That twist can be a little deeper. And now close your eyes. Inhale, hug your knees into the chest. Give a little squeeze if you love, and it will be left arm either out like a T or out in that cactus shape. Drop your knees over to the right. You can always shimmy the hips a little more underneath you. Turn your head opposite the knees if you want more, if you want to invite that wringing out of the cervical spine. Inhale, hug knees into the chest, roll onto your back. Give a little love, maybe some happy baby as you reach for your feet or reach for the outer ankles. You can rock around, you can roll around. Happiest of babies are really doing whatever. Happiest of babies are probably eating their feet, so you might be able to go for that one if you love. But feel any last creaks, pops, any fidgets, get out. And when you feel ready, take one nice big final squeeze. Grateful for our bodies that we get to move. Exhale, your legs come down long. Your arms will open up like a T or just out wide. Soften your facial muscles. This is Shavasana. as you're wandering through the garden of your mind, of your thought forms, start to choose what you're tending. What are you planting and watering? What would you like to weed out and maybe breathe away? Stillness is not always easy. Listen for 2 more breaths. Inhale as you start to move around. You might reach your arms up, make that big good morning stretch. Find yourself in movement however you love. You can take your time. If you're lying down like I am, you might do fetal pose for a minute. And then press yourself up to a seat. Most of us, we're probably by ourselves, and take your time if you're still pressing yourself up. You have all the time in the world. We're probably by ourselves, or we're with people that love us and don't care that we're doing yoga in the living room or whatever. So I would like to offer that chant of Om, that nice sacred sound where we know even when we're not in the same room, we're all in this together. We're all doing the same things with our same breath. So if you'd like to Om, and if you don't, it's all good. It doesn't matter either way. But we'll take one receiving breath in and out. So hands could come to the heart. Take a breath in and out. Big breath in. Nice big sigh. Breathe in for Om. Inhale. I am so grateful for our time. It's really bringing me so much joy. So thank you for carving out space. It means a lot. It's awesome. Thank you. Namaste. Friends who are yogging on Zoom with me know that I really do love to say hello after. So if you are jumping off the call, you're not wanting to say hello, it is no problem. You can jump off whenever you love. But if you want to say hi, then I will go ahead and take the mute off so everyone can say hi. So hold on just a second.